What is up, Earth Sphere citizens and rebel colonists? I am just a simple new type, and we are finally diving into Mobile Suit Gundam Wing Endless Waltz. You know the West calls this Mobile Suit Gundam Wing, but in Japan the series went by New Mobile Report Gundam Wing. Last time in AC 195 on Christmas Eve, Trace Kushinaga died in battle and Relina became the new Vice Foreign Minister of Earth, where she got rid of all the weapons of war. Peace between the colonies and Earth had been achieved for now. At least that is what we thought. In this episode we will learn about Mari Maya, the person calling herself Trace's daughter. We will also learn about the real Trowa Barton and how Operation V went completely wrong behind the scenes. So let's get into this. Out in space, Sally Poe finds a piece of neo-titanium. She goes by the call sign Water. Elsewhere, Catra and Duo are storing the Gundams in the disposal block. Now that there is peace, there is no need for the Gundams. They are going to send them into the sun. However, there is only 4. Wu Fei, of course, kept Shenlong. AC 196. A ceremony is being held on MO2 to mark the first anniversary of the war's end. MO2 was the satellite that everyone fled to during the destruction of the Libra during the Eve Wars. Lady Un and Noin are watching over the president giving a speech about maintaining peace. The two are a part of a new top-secret organization known as the Preventers. Their job is to prevent any organization from escalating conflict. What an uncreative name. Neo-titanium seems to be regulated highly. The fact that she found some out in a random sector of space means that someone is using it, most likely to create mobile suits. Out on L3X18999, Relina is meeting with the leaders of the colony. It has been 7 years since the completion of the colony, but they are struggling to bring in more citizens as their economy is all over the place. They need help. Yeah, maybe don't call your colony L3X18999. Rebrand to something like Eternia. Also, Relina is going by her adopted father Dorian's name once again, and is not using the Peacecraft name. As they talk, Relina passes out. They seem to have drugged her tea. Watching the president on television is Deim and the young Mari Maya. They don't believe that humanity is ready for peace and are ready to teach them how to make it happen. She says that her father gave her Christmas presents that she has to get to the people. They happen to be mobile suits. At the circus, Trowa notices men sneaking around the circus grounds. He goes to take care of them. Damn, Trowa got jacked over the year. He realizes that the men are from the Barton Foundation. He knows that they are still looking for him. We get a flashback to the construction of the heavy arms. Trowa Barton is a part of the construction. No, not that guy. This guy. This is Trowa Barton. Trowa shows a picture of his family to the no-named individual we've been calling Trowa. It is his sister and niece, named Mari Maya. Once the real Trowa takes over Earth with heavy arms, Mari Maya will be the one to rule Earth. The person we have been following is not the real Trowa. It is Christmas, but Hiro is doing research. He has figured out on his own that Trowa has a niece, and the Trowa they know isn't the real Trowa Barton. Duo says that he almost forgot, suggesting that he knew he wasn't the real Trowa this whole time. I wonder when they found out. It was totally when he played the flute. You were off key, Trowa. Also, no one likes the circus. That probably should have been a dead giveaway. He just gets up and says that Relina's been kidnapped. Can one of these kids have an actual conversation? Meanwhile, on Eternia, which is what I am rebranding as L31899999999, Deim is giving a speech to his newly formed army. Trowa snuck into their ranks and is pretending to be a soldier. Mid-speech, however, Deim pulls a gun and points it directly at Trowa. He knows who he is. Trowa tries to attack Deim, but he is protected by Wu Fei. If you are asking why this is happening and what is happening, that feeling doesn't go away. Keep up! Sally contacts Noin, whose call sign is Fire. She figured out that L3X18999 has been using neo-titanium to produce mobile suits for independence, or both. Relina wakes up to find Mari Maya in her room. She tells her that she is the daughter of Trace Kushinaga. She says that she will take over the Earth Sphere Federation and follow after her father's footsteps. Mari Maya doesn't seem to know how she was born. Duo contacts Catra and says, "Hey man, Hiro and I are going to this colony that may or may not have an army, and we're going without our Gundams. We may die, we may not, whatevs. Anyways, peace." Catra's anxiety goes through the roof. He decides that he is going to stop the Gundams from going into the sun. They won't be able to communicate with each other for a while. Catra takes Rashid and the Magwanac core with him to catch up with the disposal block. They are barely going to make it in time, but it will take 50 days. Duo thinks back to him trying to destroy Death Sight. He pushes the discharge button, but it doesn't go off. That is when Professor G walks in with the discharge pins. He isn't going to let his work of art be destroyed. He knew that Duo was planning to kill the Gundam engineer after he destroyed the Gundam. Professor G suggests that he steals the Gundam instead of trying to destroy it. He suggests they just ignore Operation Meteor. Hiro passes out and thinks back to when he was on the colonies. He meets a little girl and her puppy. Hiro later blows up a base on the colony, but one Leo accidentally falls onto a civilian building, killing the little girl and her puppy. Aw, come on, Hiro. He is saddened by this incident, but Dr. J wants to remove all of humanity out of him. It is a distraction. Duo wakes him up from his flashback to Marimea making a broadcast to the world that they are declaring war against the Earth sphere. The president yells at Lady Yoon for not being able to contain this when a man with a familiar voice comes in and wants to join the ranks and go by the call sign Wind. Noin and Sally run into Hiro and Duo. Duo once again goes, "Hey man, we are busting in. We may or may not die. Yeah, cool, peace. Here, I'll just play the clip. I'm not that off."
Oh, we'll think of something. That is, if we can get to the colony.
Noin and Sally decide to divert attention outside of the colony while Hiro and Duo bust in. They are turned on. I mean excited that the Gundam pilots are back in action. No, actually I mean turned on. Duo and Hiro burst through the colony's defenses of the Tauruses. Listen to those thruster sound effects. Yeah, that's the kind of ASMR content I am looking for. They take a hit, but drop some missile pods and push through. They eject in an escape pod and barely make it to a shuttle bay. They get out and steal some Leos. The two split off and go on their own. Duo runs into a new model. It is the Serpent. The MMS-01 Serpent is a new mass-produced mobile suit and the direct successor to the Leo. This can be used in space and on Earth. The double Gatling gun is identical to Heavy Arms Gatling gun. This unit is built using neo-titanium, which is half the weight and twice as strong as titanium. This unit struggles in close combat situations. It has an 8-tube missile launcher, a bazooka, a beam cannon, a storage rack which holds the Gatling guns, and an optional parachute. Duo recognizes the fighting style. It is Trowa. Meanwhile, Hiro takes out Leos when he runs into Wu Fei and Shenlong. He wonders if Hiro and the other pilots are making the right choice. He is able to cut through Hiro's Leos like butter. Hiro tells Wu Fei to press the detonation switch. Trowa reminds Duo that he isn't the real Trowa before shooting off missiles. Trowa flashes back to his past. He was a nameless soldier when he was a kid. He met the real Trowa while working as a mechanic on Heavy Arms. Dr. S and the others don't want to go through with Operation Meteor, but Trowa will ensure that the plan will go through. He says that he is going to tell his daddy, Deim Barton, for this. That is when one of the crew members shoots and kills Trowa. Dr. S thinks that they are screwed, but that is when the Trowa we know comes out and suggests that he takes the Trowa identity. He too wants nothing to do with Operation Meteor and destroying Earth. In the present, Trowa's missiles miss Duo and he disappears. Also, Wu Fei attacks Hiro, but he disappears. Catra is able to shave off 80 hours of time if they take a faster route. They will use up most of their propellant. Catra suggests exploding the power furnace, creating a controlled explosion. They will then loop around Venus and slingshot themselves back to the Earth sphere. Another problem is that this leaves only 5 seconds where their ship and the disposal block will match speeds. Better be quick with it. Sally and Noin realizes that most of the enemies they come across are mobile dolls. They wonder where their real forces are at. We get Catra's flashback with Instructor H, who warns him of the self-destruct on Sandrock. Unlike other flashbacks where people steal the mobile suit, he is actually its true pilot, but he and Instructor H want to only resort to self-destruction if necessary. Back on the secret colony, Relina goes off and has a peacegasm.
I will not allow rude comments from you.
Thanks, Marimea. If you didn't stop her, she would just keep going. Hiro is more concerned with the man known as Deim Barton, more so than Marimea. It seems that they are still trying to make Operation Meteor happen. Catra catches up to the disposal block. They harpoon the ship and Catra quickly rushes over to the block. He barely makes it before the Magwanac core breaks off. He is on his own, and if he fails, he will be vaporized by the sun. At the Earth sphere, Deim begins his invasion of Earth. They have taken over MO3. That is when he is met with the Tallgeese. It is the Tallgeese 3. The Oz 00 MS-2B Tallgeese 3 is a new model of the Tallgeese built off of the original Tallgeese and not the Tallgeese 2 piloted by Trace. It retains the same beam saber and shield as the older model, but the shield also has the retractable heat rod built into it. This can slice through mobile suits when extremely hot and is good against mobile suits with anti-beam coating. Other weapons include Vulcan guns and a mega cannon, which rivals the twin buster rifle of Wing 0. We will see this cannon destroy an asteroid soon. It is Zex Marquise. He says that he is not comfortable with peace. Deim dares him to destroy the asteroid, but if that happens, they will drop their colony onto Earth.
What? X18999.
See, it just doesn't roll off the tongue in dramatic moments. Imagine if he said Eternia. This is the reason why the population is so low on the colony. They planned on using it for a colony drop. There's probably nothing they could do as it took so much effort destroying Libra in this universe. Colony drop would be unstoppable. Unable to stop them, Deim begins his invasion. Marimea tells Relina of the colony drop and her true purpose. Just like the anime, she is going to be a peace puppet for Marimea's new government, spreading her false propaganda of peace. She's back, baby! Peace, 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 peace. Katra is on board the disposal block. He changes the trajectory and detonates the engine core, pushing the block back towards Earth's sphere. The disposal block is inside a 90s CG asteroid and it doesn't hold up. Why is there film grain on the asteroid that is matted into a 2D cell animated scene? It is quite noticeable. Hiro and Duo begin pushing through the colony, taking out the Marimea private army. While this is happening, Trowa finds out the true intentions of Operation Meteor. Even though it was Kantz who was trying to fulfill Operation Meteor at the end of the anime, it is indeed Dekim Barton who created the operation. After the death of the real Hiro Yui, the colonists were originally planning on dropping the colony on Earth, after which the Gundams would come in and clean up the pieces. Of course, all the Gundam engineers would ultimately have their own agenda, and we saw this play out in the series. As they fight through the colony, Hiro and Duo run into Trowa. They need to stop the operation as troops are already making their way to Earth. Trowa was working on the inside this whole time, but they wonder what Wu Fei's true intentions are. Trowa hacks into the colony's system and is able to stop the colony. Well, that was easy. Duo contacts Sally Poe to let her know of the situation. Meanwhile, Zex in the Tallgeese fires the mega cannon at MO3. This is powerful enough to destroy the entire mining asteroid. However, Dekim Barton is able to make his escape in a shuttle. The Barton forces surround Duo, Trowa, and Hiro. That is when they get a transmission from Katra. He has redirected the disposal unit towards Earth and should reach the Earth's orbit in about 24 hours. Hiro wants Katra to redirect Wing Zero to a different location so Hiro could get there faster. He will take one of the shuttles in the hangar. The Barton forces are almost through the door. Hiro says, "Quick, Duo, punch me in the face." He punches him in the face, and Hiro punches Duo in the gut. Hiro says, "That's for punching me in the face." Hiro truly is a psychopath. The forces bust through the door. Hiro pretends to be passed out on the floor before making a run for the hangar. Zex is drifting out in space being a sad boy when Noin comes to his side. He is reading a book. Of course he's reading a book.
It's been 1 year and 2 days.
Don't come off looking so desperate, Noin. You're better than that. Christmas, AC 196. Marimea and the Barton forces begin their invasion of Earth and take over the presidential estate, which is located in Brussels. Now that they have been invaded, there is nothing that the Preventers can do. I get that the Preventers are supposed to stop forces before they are able to grow, but boy is there a list of issues with that organization. It's best not to think about it. I always forget that Wu Fei upgraded from Shinlong. Hiro meets up with his Gundam. The fact that a 2-mix song is playing in this scene, and Wing Gundam's container is so phallic, this has to be one of the sexiest docking sequences in all of Gundam. The captured presidential residence has a failsafe shelter and can hide underground. Marimea wonders why a president needs safety measures like this in a world of peace.
History is much like an endless waltz.
She said the thing, war, peace, and rebellion are always a part of life. But once Marimea becomes ruler, that will change. Sure, you will be the one to fix it, Marimea. Ah, bless your heart. Wu Fei is still waiting outside of Earth's orbit. As he waits, he gets a flashback of his own. He is informed of Operation Meteor and the destruction of one of the L5 colonies, and he believes that there can be another way. He wants to rid the world of all evil. In the present, Wing Gundam approaches. Altron uses its Dragon Fang. Wu Fei believes that Earth did not change even though peace was achieved. On the colony, Sally Poe rescues some hostages while Duo escapes from his jail cell. The two meet up with Trowa and they steal a shuttle. Wu Fei is fighting for all the soldiers. He is a weapon of war and only exists in the battlefield. They created a world where they don't matter. These are the words of Trace, but he doesn't have to continue living in his footsteps. Get over it, dude. It's been a year. As the two fight, they enter Earth's atmosphere. On Earth, Noin and Zex are fighting against the Barton forces. They are trying to push through to the presidential residence. Zex believes that if Marimea is able to do what she wants, she will create another Milliardo peacecraft. Everyone is peak insufferable in this. I love it. He wants Noin to retreat, but she says she will always be by his side. Except all of last year, gravity weighs down on Wing and Altron as they continue their fight. Hiro tells Wu Fei that helping Marimea is just perpetuating the violence. More people like them will die in the future if they don't put an end to the fighting. And that's coming from the mouth of Hiro Yui, a psychopath that tries to kill everyone, including himself. He yells at Wu Fei saying we don't have to kill the little girl and her dog. Wu Fei doesn't have access to Hiro's flashbacks like we do, so he is very confused by this statement. Wing falls into the ocean. Wu Fei recalls back to the destruction of one of his home colonies in the L5 zone. Trowa, Katra, and Duo finally get into their Gundams and head to Earth. We get this really out-of-place moment between the president and his granddaughter where she says, "Grandfather, why do we still fight?" She came straight out of a Dickens novel. The president believes that there are too few people that would retaliate against Marimea, and that is the problem. Lady Un understands that Marimea is simply a puppet being controlled by Dekim. Noin and Zex continue to push towards the presidential residence, but they are only two people against an army of serpents. But that is when Katra and the Gundams come to help.
You fought this many without killing one soldier.
Are you serious? Not one person died in this destruction? Not even an accident? Surely someone at least had to be stepped on. Deim and Marimea are certain that the Gundams won't be able to break through the mansion. Relina realizes that she has been running from the truth this whole time. Peace is not something that can be given. People must fight for peace if they want it. She tries to contact the people, but Deim and Marimea cuts off her broadcast. Marimea wonders what she was thinking, as she was about to tell the people to fight for freedom. This goes against everything she has been preaching this whole time. The people of Earth are getting riled up. That is when Dorothy comes along and calls everyone cowards and riles them up even more. She says that the only men on Earth are the Gundam pilots currently on the battlefield. The people realize that if they want peace, they're going to have to fight for it. This is what Dorothy wanted and tells everyone to get into her cargo trucks. Why piss off the people if your intentions were to get them to try to fight? Weird strategy. I guess it worked.
They just keep coming all at once!
Ugh, I hate it when I get a load of beam blasts to the face. Hiro is still underwater when the Zero system activates. The Gundam is able to move once again. He says that this will be the Gundam's final fight. This movie has 4 chips are down scenes. The chips are down scene is when everyone is about to lose hope and all chips are down, usually before someone comes to save the day. This happens 4 times. Noin wants them to retreat as this isn't their fight, but they are all in it till the end. Relina tells Marimea that there is a reason she uses the Dorian name now, as the Gundams are surrounded. Another chips are down scene, by the way. Hiro comes to save the day. He points the twin buster rifle at the subterranean estate. Deim and Marimea are still confident in their security systems in place. Hiro says, let's test that. He fires. This takes out many mobile suits in the process. So much for not killing anyone. Thanks for nothing, Duo. You empathetic asshole. He fires again. Each blast does damage to the Gundam. Marimea thinks he's not really going to kill Relina, is he? Relina looks at her and says, does you afraid? Marimea didn't take into account that Hiro is a psychopath. He fires once again. The Gundam goes up in flames as the twin buster rifle is just too powerful, running in faster than a beam blast. Lady Un grabs Marimea and Relina and gets away from the blast. The people of Earth come to protest the fighting. Hiro rolls out of his Gundam. Deim demands that Marimea takes her place as ruler. Lady Un goes to slap her, but Relina says, nah, this one's mine. Deim points a gun at Relina. He says that he is the one who made Marimea and can make another one. As he shoots, Marimea gets in the way and is shot. A random Barton soldier shoots and kills Deim. They effectively surrender. As Relina holds Marimea, Hiro walks in. He shoots at Marimea, but his gun is empty. Hiro proclaims that he will never kill again. Lady Un gets Marimea medical attention. The Barton soldiers burn their weapons. Also, Wu Fei learned that the power should be given to the people and not the soldiers. Or something like that. I don't know. He still hates women though. Trowa, Duo, and Catra self-destruct their Gundams. Wu Fei does the same, but does so by himself. Sally Po recruits Wu Fei to become a preventer. Zex and Noin are on their way to Mars. Relina is starting a terraformation project, and the two will be one of the first to take the leap outside of the Earth sphere. On Earth, Lady Un is taking care of Marimea as the two go to visit the grave of Trace Kushanada. After Colony 197, peace is once again achieved in the Earth sphere. The weapon known as the Mobile Suit, including the Gundam, is no more. Certainly Sunrise wouldn't ruin such a beautiful ending just to make more money, right? Right? And that will do it for this episode. This is a great piece of camp in the Gundam universe, but I must admit that even Endless Waltz still didn't hold up to my childhood expectations. I can't go without talking about Kotoki's designs of the mobile suits. Everyone loves Wing Zero, but I think Sandrock got the best glow up in the movie. I already covered War in the Pocket and even made a video called Christmas on Side 6. Be sure to go check that out. We will eventually return to the After Colony universe in the future and cover Glory to the Losers. But that will do it for now, new types. Remember that you have to fight for peace.